Hello, my name is Jessie Jules, and yes, I am a real mermaid. I consider myself a mermaid because of my love and concern for the ocean. Anyone really can be a mermaid, a merman, or a merfolk. They just need to believe in themselves and in our ability to protect our planet. This story is my journey of becoming a mermaid. How I've connected the dots between my full-time career as an artist, an educator, a circus performer, and my love for the environment. Also, it's a little about creating magic along the way. I studied elementary education and special education at Rhode Island College. I learned great skills and love working with children, but I was also working a full-time job, making and selling my art, and my life just felt scattered. I knew I needed to create a new career path. I heard about mermaiding, and not just putting a blanket over my legs like when I was a kid. No, I heard about a mermaid convention, MerMagicon, the largest one in the country, and I went. I met so many other creative people. I saw things like freediving, scuba, and underwater photography. I was hooked. I started to train and got my first certification in mermaid swimming in Maui. Then I traveled across the globe taking courses, learning, and practicing this unique art form. Getting certified helped me to feel safe and be confident in the water, but I didn't know that the journey was just beginning. The next year, I was nudged by a friend to enter the Miss USA Mermaid pageant. I never thought in my life that I would be in a pageant, but it sounded fun, so I applied. I now hold multiple titles, and it sparked the development of my current work, educating people about ocean conservation. I began my work with Save the Bay Narragansett. They trained me as a beach cleanup captain, and I started to see the direct impact of human waste on our shorelines. Every cleanup, we would easily remove over 500 pounds of trash. It was overwhelming. Last year alone, Save the Bay removed 37,000 pounds of trash during beach cleanups. Save the Bay volunteers also do many other projects. Last year, they marked 1,800 storm drains with signs not to dump, that the drains go to the bay. They planted 18,000 wetland and beach grass plants to restore coastal habitats. And throughout the year, they also monitor water quality, observe seal populations, and so much more. It's a bittersweet feeling to see the amount of trash after a cleanup, but the joy of all the volunteers and their hope for the health of our bay and our oceans is inspiring for the future of our planet. Volunteering with Save the Bay has truly changed the way that I look at our ocean and our coastline. I now know I'm a steward of the sea. Part of the process of educating people is simply to spread the word. Motif magazine published my controversial photos in an edition about poor drainage in Providence. I had photoshopped myself swimming as a mermaid and a series of images of floating cars on I-95. My goal with creating these images was to get the attention to the larger issue of drainage in the bay. The article also discussed issues with pollutants entering the bay through the same system. The dots were starting to connect. I began to create mermaid shows for children that were entertaining but on a level they could understand. I teach children about complex topics like microplastics in our food chain by using puppets, visuals, and stories. We have fun and giggle, but we also talk about how much a whale's belly must hurt after eating plastic. We identify what single-use plastics are and talk about ways humans can help reduce their use. The schools tell me they use this information to tie into other projects and activities and continue to talk about this after my visit. My goal is to continue developing these programs and to make it accessible for everyone. During these past years, I've had opportunities I never imagined through mermaiding, traveling to natural springs and pristine reefs to model underwater, bringing awareness to the places that are still wild and untouched. I enjoy writing stories to go with the photos and setting up mini scenes with costumes and props. I've been able to work with some award-winning photographers for underwater photography like Brett Stanley and Justin Lutsky. One of my most memorable experiences was going to Honduras and shooting in a coral reef and in an underwater cave. I know you're probably thinking, how does she hold her breath that long? The answer is I don't. Submerge has a highly trained team of safety divers who are looking over me, providing me with air between posing, and also very careful to not only dive in designated areas, but not to touch the coral as it would cause it harm. It was amazing to be that far underwater and learn about this technique, which is usually only reserved for film crews. As a mermaid artist, I've had the opportunity to collaborate with many other artists too locally. Local circus group Circus Dynamics and I created a mermaid and stilt-walking jellyfish blacklight performance for an undersea event at Providence at the rooftop of the G. This type of collaborative work has resulted in projects I never would have been able to create on my own. I've had the chance to work with other photographers like David Lee Black and Brandon Lavender to create calendars which support local educational nonprofits like Biomes Marine Biology Center. Some of my artwork being used as props for the shoots, like this fire trident and underwater harp. When I step back and look at these photos, I'm reminded that we are creators, and in our hands are the building blocks for a happy, healthy planet. It makes me want to cry. Thank you so much for listening. I hope that I've inspired you to search for your inner mermaid, merman, or merfolk, to continuously be curious about the world around us and our place in it. And maybe make a little splash, too. Thanks.